Hello and welcome back to the Peak Endurance podcast.
Oh, so professional.
Very smooth. This is part two of our podcast on the 13 warning signs that it's time to revamp your fueling. We get that right?
Yes, but
Yes.
I was just thinking we need to do an update first before we go over what we were talking about. We'll do that in a minute.
Okay. Yep. Sure. Yep.
Oh, we are so organised. We planned this. Believe it or not, we had actually planned
We
this.
actually spent a whole minute planning it.
Well, to be honest, I've got notes that I planned I planned these notes before I went to Canada.
Yeah.
We were going to do this podcast the week before I left and we just didn't have time. And then we were going to do it while I was away and we just
couldn't coordinate.
No, it was just too hard. Yeah. And then we were going to do it last week, but I've been sick.
Yes.
The woman who said she never gets
sick.
Since then, sick again. Yes. I've been sick non-stop
since you've said that, you've had two quite significant illnesses.
I am so over it.
And anyone that thinks that Isobel would be a wonderful patient and likes to,
relax and rest.
Yes.
No.
Like a bear with a sore head.
Oh God. I've been strummed like I'm bored. And then
why can't I run? I just want to run. That's what you mean.
That's what normal people do. They must get so bored. And I did say to Ron, next time I'm whinging that, I'd love to just sit around and do nothing. Just remind me of this. Because I don't want to sit around and do nothing.
No.
It's heinous. It's horrible.
The days drag on so.
And long weekend. It's in summer holidays. Start of the holidays. I got sick. Far right, the Monday of the holidays. Yeah. The first day of the freaking holidays. When I didn't get sick enough to stop, it was just a bit of a cold. And I always say, if it's just a head cold, run through it, just keep easy. And, but if it's chesty, don't. And it was just a head cold. I thought it'll be gone in a few days. I'll just run easy. And I just did sort of easy runs. And then it seemed to be getting better. And then it changed.
Yeah.
It shape shifted.
Yeah, that's
And overnight, it became a cough.
Yeah.
And a cough that kept us both awake.
It did, yes. It's become, it seems to be more related to when it gets cold or when,
as soon as
the
air gets cold. So I'll start coughing of an evening.
Yeah.
And I'll be thinking, I'm doing grand, and then I'll start coughing of an evening.
Yeah.
So I've been taking cold and flu tablets at night because just the coughing was driving me insane. I shudder to think what it was doing for you, because if it had been you, it would have been driving me more insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been, and so I didn't run Friday. Tried to get out for a run Saturday. Thought we could do 30K.
Didn't go so well.
After about 5K, I said, I think we should do 20. And then at about 8K, I said, can we just go home? And it was still like 7K home.
Yeah.
Oh, and honestly, I was running douche grade downhill and I needed to stop and have a break because my legs were so rooted running downhill, and not like a steep downhill, easy, roll your legs over. And it was just horrible. And that was yesterday. So I didn't run again today and waved Ron off to go for his run.
I just did an easy 10 just to get out before the rain this morning.
Yep. And I just sat here and worked like you normally do on it. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Then, yeah. And it's just been shit. Quite frankly, I am done. I've been popping vitamins, popping drugs. I have lost patience.
Yeah, she's when it comes to not doing exactly what she wants when she wants, she loses patience really quickly.
Anyhow, it's more, I don't like to be unwell. I don't like being sick. I just don't like it.
No,
I don't like it.
Don't like it.
But we did do something rather interesting.
Yes, we did.
Friday night.
We did, and it was not running related. Surprise, surprise. We do occasionally do things that aren't running related.
Yeah, and when we do them, we make sure they're expensive.
Yes. So, as part of my gift to Isobel for her birthday, we went pistol shooting.
I've always wanted to do it for like as long as I can remember. Yeah. It's just been one of those things. I've never gotten off my ass and organised, you
Yes.
know.
No, neither of us, at least, don't think you have. I certainly have never held a pistol. So
yeah, no, I've held machine guns, but no, not a
oh,
pistol.
well, that's all right. Yeah, so it was very much a new thing for both of us. We went there feeling quite nervous that we were, you know, not even
I
gonna
was
be able
nervous I was going to make an ass of myself,
not even
and
gonna
it's
be able to hit
okay,
the
I
target.
did.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting.
It's
It
really
was
fun, and it was such like the first pistol, which was a Beretta, you said, which is what, 6mm?
I don't know the size, but it was smaller. It was
Way
more,
smaller. The bullets
yeah.
were tiny,
But
teeny tiny.
the instructor kept calling it the toy gun.
Ah, is that what he?
Yeah.
He had a very strong Greek accent.
Yeah.
And we had, you know, earmuffs on, and
Yeah.
I'm deaf in one ear, so I struggled a bit.
Yeah.
That one was okay, except I was not shit hot at hitting the target. My first shot was great, and after that, it went downhill.
That's right. Yeah, I think, you know, because that was a lighter gun, and I think just
yours was heavier.
Yeah, mine was heavier than yours. Yours was a little plastic thing.
Yeah.
Mine was actually, you know,
It had quite a long
significantly heavier.
barrel.
So, and there wasn't much as much recoil on it.
There was no
It
recoil.
was a bit easier to hold still, but still, you know, a whole new experience to it.
Yeah. And then we got to use the 9mm.
Yeah, which
holy moly. And so I went first, and he said, you know, there'll be a bit of recoil. I'm like, okay. And he's sort of standing on my right-hand side, to the side, but a little bit behind me. And I shot the gun, and it shot me backwards. And I bashed up against him, and I'm like,
I thought she was going to drop the gun.
I know we're at a death grip. I'm just lucky I didn't shoot the roof. Swear to God. And so he's like, you know, make sure you got one eye open. And half the time I'm pointing that pistol, and I'm like, shit, open one eye, because I had both of them shut. I was so terrified of the goddamn recoil. It was really quite strong. And then, because you've got to, you know, you shoot, and we had 10 rounds on that one, and you've got to release your finger a bit before you shoot again. But I would be so death grip, I would forget to release. And I'm like, why isn't it shooting? Oh, I've got to release. And then you got to try. Oh, but I was better at that one.
Yeah, you were. Your groupings, for want of a better word,
yes,
to use a proper word,
were closer
much closer to the target than, or to the bullseye, whatever.
Yes. And you did with that too. You did fine with that.
Yeah, I was actually closer with the smaller handgun, and a bit further away with the heavy one for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just the way it worked. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, I find your heavier one was probably about the same weight.
I think that was the same gun. Yeah.
So it was only probably because of the recoil that you weren't as good with it. And I was trying to compensate for the recoil with my aim by compensating for my arms going, what? And you know, as everyone knows, I have, or they probably don't know because they probably forgot, but I have said before that I've got tennis elbow, golf elbow, whatever, and just holding that gun, oh my God, it brought it back so bad. So my arms were kind of shaking by the end. I walked in there freezing because it was kind of semi-outdoors, and I've got a bit of a cold, and I'm paranoid thinking, oh God, I'm going to be in here for an hour of sweat, freezing. I was sweating by the end. I swear, it's really, A, it gets your adrenaline going, but B, it's hard work. You know, he said, I had one or two comments, oh, I could see your hand, oh, you weren't holding it very well, kind of thing. But it's like, when you've never shot a gun, it's really actually hard. And I don't know, some of the people who comment, I don't think had ever shot a gun.
Okay.
So, you know, like, give it a crack. It's actually really way harder than you think it will be. Just because you see people in the movies.
They make it look really easy in the movies.
Yeah, and it's bloody not. Easy. If you've actually shot a gun, and people who've shot a gun will understand that it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
And like the guy said, you know, you have to practice. It's one of those things. You have to keep practicing all the time. Yeah. You know? I mean, he tried to make me feel better, going, oh, yes, when I first started, I was everyone. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. But he was trying to make me feel better.
And interestingly, when he was showing us and he held the pistol up, his hand was dead still.
Whereas I just couldn't. It would.
And I would be looking down the barrel,
shake.
And the more I would focus on trying to hold it steady, the more it would move.
It was bloody. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, focus. So I tried to, you know, channel my inner matrix, and I'm like, be one with the black dot. Yeah, and then I'm like, and baby, there is no black dot.
So then you missed the target because you couldn't see the
fucking
black
hell. And that's when I realized I had my eyes shut and I'm, trying to sleep. Yeah, no, it was actually really, really hard. And I was kind of glad we only had 200 bullets because I was knackered. It didn't help that I wasn't 100% healthy. Like if I'd been healthy, I wouldn't have been probably as tired, but it was still bloody tiring.
Yeah, it was.
So, and once again, you need practice, practice, practice. But to be honest, we're not going to go back and practice because it cost us $250 each, or at least one. Yeah. So, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, it'd be good to get good at it.
Yeah, but
it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen, not at that price.
It's a one-off, Yeah. Have a bit of fun. Yeah. Bloody hell, I didn't realize it was that expensive, but I sort of asked Ron, how much? I'm like, fuck. But it's fair because, insurance would be big. You've got an instructor with you there the whole time, Yeah. That sort of stuff. But still, I'm not going to get any better because we're not going to do it again. No. So, But yeah, it was fun. We had a ball. It was good fun. And then we went over different, different, and that's it. We like to do different things, something out of our comfort zone, It's good to be runners, but it's also good to just try something different. And we want to try the iFly at some point too. Yeah. Can't do them too often, all these sorts of things, because, it all adds up. I mean, but, I just think it's good to give things a crack. I honestly believe that the enemy is a mediocre, boring life, to get to the end of your life and say, oh, well, I didn't do this because I was too expensive. I was too tired. I was too busy. I was too this. I was too that. Like, really, I want to get to the end of my life and go, well, I gave everything a crack. Yeah. Wasn't necessarily the best at it, but I gave it. When I gave it a crack, I gave it a good hard shot. I've done downhill mountain biking. I've done cross-country mountain biking. I've done trials mountain biking. I've done bodybuilding. I've done Roganing and Barkley and all kinds of distances races. I've done 5Ks to 290Ks, and you know what, at least I gave it all a crack. Wasn't always the best at everything, but I gave it a crack, and every time I did something, I did it to the best of my ability. Mountain biking, I competed in all of those disciplines. Bodybuilding, I competed, and I did it to the best of my ability. And I think you got to go out there, give something a crack. And then, I mean, even now, I still think I haven't done it. There's so much I want to do. And I think you just got to do it. And you've got to stop finding excuses and just get out there and bloody live life, because you know what? You don't get a do-over. No, you don't. And you're not getting any younger. And the older you get, the harder this shit gets. Like, I didn't used to get elbow tendonitis when I was younger. Maybe if I tried shooting when I was younger, I wouldn't have struggled so much because of my elbow, But I gave it a crack. No, whatever. I'm not going to get any younger, that's for sure. So I might as well do it now. I'm the youngest I'll be for a long time, till I'm dead. Yeah. Right? So, like I just, like if I waited till I could afford those overseas trips, or waited till I could afford to do the races, or waited till I had the time to train for those races, I would still be sitting on my ass doing nothing. Because you've got to make it happen. Yeah. You've got to make life happen. If you keep waiting for the right time, the right amount of money, this, that, and the other, quite frankly, it will never, ever, ever happen. And $500 is a lot of money, but it's spent now. That's right. And, and like, by God, that trip to Canada cost me a small fortune. But, it's spent now, and I'm pretty much paid off the credit card. Except new expenses just keep coming through.
Take that part off the credit card.
Yeah, both credit cards, let me tell you, both. Not just one, two. So, sometimes you just, at the end of the day, it's money, and then people go, oh, that's right for you, you've got money. Well, I actually don't. I'm not a millionaire. We both work full-time jobs, I work bloody hard. I work 7 days a week. Yeah. This is Sunday afternoon. That's right. Yeah. This is work. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Yeah. But it's work. Yeah. So, and actually, this makes no money. No. This we do for the love of it. Yeah, I didn't say I was smart. I just said I was a hard worker. Yeah. So, but I like to give value to people. And this is part of giving value. So anyway, I just want to implore people, you know, if you're thinking about doing an ultra, but you're thinking, oh, I can't do this and I can't, you've got, you know, I'm too unfit, I'm too slow, I'm too big, I'm too old, I'm too whatever it is. Just, I want you to know you're not, and just go out and do it.
Yeah, and no one's going to do it for you. The only way to
Do
make
it
that
is,
first step is to get out the door and take the first step.
and we can help you, of course, being coaches. Like, you know, honestly, the best way to do it is to get a coach, especially if you're busy, because then you can be sure that the training that you're doing is actually going to work, and then you're not just wasting time doing the wrong training. But honestly, you know, just get out there and do it. Live a full life. Look back on your life going, I freaking did that, not, oh, I wish I'd done it.
Yeah.
I do not want to get to my deathbed with the regret of not having done things because I was too busy or I didn't have enough money, because there's never enough money. Quite frankly, there is never enough money. And I just manage, don't I?
You do. You
I
do.
don't know, you'd think I was a millionaire, but I'm not. I just live like one.
Live like one.
Not a millionaire, but
vicariously through your credit card.
yeah. I always go to one, what's credit cards for? I always find a way to pay it off, you know. It happens. You would be amazed. And then the money's spent and it's gone. It's like, oh, well, you know.
Yeah.
Better to have had a fantastic experience than have a full bank account.
Yeah.
That's my opinion anyway, you know, whatever.
Can't take it with you.
Yeah, and I don't want to, you know, save and get to 65 and go, right, now we can afford to do everything, but I'm too fucking old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the 13 signs that it's time to fuel up, because in general, these warning signs mean you need to eat more and or revamp your eating habits. So do you want to just read us through the 6 headlines?
I'll put my old man reading glasses on.
Well, I've been wearing reading glasses for longer than you. Implying
I'm an old man.
I'm implying that I'm an old woman.
No, not at all. Some people just have bad eyes.
Yeah, whatever.
Number 1, constant fatigue.
Yeah.
You're always tired, even after a good night's sleep.
Just do the headlines because this will take forever otherwise. Number 2 was
slow recovery.
Yep.
Number 3, frequent injuries. Number 4 was plateauing performance. Number 5, mood swings. Number 6, weakened immune system.
You catch every cold that comes around. That's not my nutrition. That's my stress levels. Okay. And it could be from working 7 days a week and never having a day off.
Yes.
And I'm not talking running, I'm talking working.
Yeah.
All righty. So
now
go on to number 7 and I'll go into it.
Now we're up to number 7. Poor sleep quality. You toss and turn all night.
No, to be fair, I've got that at the moment, but you know, so we go. So, all right. So limit caffeine, especially after midday. I know some people say that they can drink. You used to say, I can drink caffeine anytime. That was also when you're drinking instant shit, which is also less potent. But they have found that, yes, people who say they can sleep, yes, they do sleep, but you're not actually getting that really good quality REM sleep. So it's not the good sleep that actually helps your body recover, okay? So sure, you can drink caffeine maybe and sleep, but it's not the good sleep. So you should limit it. And I'm not just talking coffee, I'm talking those god-awful energy drinks as well.
Yeah.
And I say, chuck them, get rid of them. Increase magnesium-rich foods or supplement with magnesium. I find I like to take a couple of magnesium tablets before bed, half an hour or so before bed. No, I'm no doctor or nutritionist, so take my advice purely as friendly advice, not medical advice, because I believe that you should take more than what's on the bottle. But be careful, because it can have a bowel loosening effect if you take too much of it. Shall we put it that way? So be careful. All right, but
so you're just saying what you do, not necessarily. You're not telling everyone what they should do.
No. But
let's be clear on that. If you want that sort of advice, you need to go and see your medical doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
That is what Isobel does.
That's the caveat to that advice. But you know, that's what I've certainly found. And also, if you at all have, because the reason I take magnesium or why I started is because I get restless legs, and I find it helps with that. And especially as a runner, you may find that you get that a little bit. I mean, I took up exercise to try to mitigate it, but yeah, so that might be why. All righty, number 8.
Digestive issues.
Oh, hang on a second.
Oh, we've jumped ahead.
Yep. Number 8. Yep.
Digestive issues, bloating, cramps, or other GI problems are common.
You know, when you're running. So basically, experiment with your timing, not only your timing of your pre-run meals, but what you actually have. I'm constantly experimenting. None of it helps. I still burp for the first hour. But it's not distressing for me. Well, not for me.
I think it's distressing for the strangers we happen to be running past.
Every time I let out, I'm like, oh, phew, there's nobody around. Wah, and I let it rip. Someone comes around the corner, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes, really?
That's when you try and pin it on me.
I'm like, Ron, stop being a pig.
Of course, it doesn't work when I'm not with her.
Yeah, then I just have to, I was about to say run really fast, but yeah, nah. So, you know, practice with the timing. I personally find, you know, for me, I can eat right up until I go. It doesn't matter. But certainly for me, running later in the day gives me more GI issues, right?
Yeah.
Even if I haven't eaten for 2 hours before I exercise, I still get GI issues just because you've eaten more heavy food throughout the day, whereas just toast or a little bit of 2-minute oats, that doesn't affect me. You don't really get GI issues,
Not
do you?
really. And for most of my, particularly my midweek runs, you know, I'll have lunch at 1 o'clock and then
See, that would still affect me if I was
at around 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So there's a good 2 hours between eating and running. I don't really have too many issues. You know, it might repeat on me occasionally, but it's nothing, you know, nothing that would make me do anything differently, really.
Yeah. Anyway, just try different things. I know some people say their foam peanut butter doesn't work for them. I've tried eliminating that. It didn't make a difference. You know, just try not only the timing, but try different kinds of foods. It's always good to have a variety because also if you ever travel for races, you may find you get there and you can't have your normal food. Something's happened. There's no toaster in the, like when I went to the Airbnb in Revelstoke, they didn't have a toaster in the room. I had to ask to use their family toaster because I'm like, you could have a freaking toaster. I had to unplug everything else in the room to use it, but that's, you know, whatever. All righty. Number 9.
Irregular menstrual.
Class is back on. Who are you kidding, old man?
Irregular menstrual cycles. For female runners, this can be a sign of inadequate nutrition. I'll let you speak on this one.
Yes. So, I mean, I've had that extremely irregular, and that was because of inadequate nutrition, but also unbelievably high stress levels. Right. Consult a doctor. Personally, I think just try increasing your calorie intake. That's what worked for me and decreasing my stress, which involved leaving my ex-husband. That's how I decreased my stress. Anyway, but in general, it will be increasing calorie intake. Now, the weight that I would like to be at for running is about 3 kilos less than what I don't know what I weigh now. Maybe 3 to 4 kilos less than what I weigh now. But at the weight that I am now, I have regular like clockwork periods, right? So that is clearly the weight that is healthy for my body. My laptop needs to be plugged in. I just saw it's going flat. Right? So you may want to be a certain weight, but your body may be telling you something different. Okay?
Oh.
So, sorry, we're so professional. You can tell I'm sick. I blame me because I'm normally way better organized than this. I'm really, I know a lot of women are like, oh, it's awesome. And I was one of them because it was awesome not having my period when I raced because I never had to worry about faffing around with, you know, tampons and whatnot. And I never got PMS and I never ran like crap because of PMS. And no, I do. But I tell you what, I also got osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis. And I had that in my sort of around 37, 38, which is far too young. So my bone quality is better now. So honestly, it's not great to not have a regular menstrual cycle. So I would recommend eating more, but I would also highly recommend going to see a doctor, right? Because just to check that there's nothing else going on. Sure, see a nutritionist like myself or a dietitian, but I still think see a doctor, because just to eliminate that concern that there might be something else. Sure, it could be diet. Yes, maybe it's not. And that needs to be investigated, just to be sure, to be sure, to be sure. All righty.
All right.
Number 10.
Constant hunger. You're always ravenous, even right after eating.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of me, and that
Yeah.
is kind of marathon and ultra training. But then there's ravenous, and also, oh, that was yummy, I just want to keep eating,
That's
which I
me.
think is more what I have.
That's me.
You know,
I'm not particularly hungry after I've eaten, but I do have a tendency to overeat when I'm eating something that I like.
Yeah, so, but I've learned how to stop myself.
Yeah, I have too when I'm just.
Do you know how I
too
stop
full
myself?
anymore.
I give it to you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, God, easy.
Yeah.
That way it's gone. And as I tell people, I've heard Oprah, she pours a really hot chili sauce on it to stop herself keeping on eating. I've gotten to the point where I've thrown food in the bin because I know I've eaten a goddamn enough, but I'm just eating because it's yummy.
Yeah.
So if you are truly hungry, like you eat, and firstly, make sure you're eating enough. Maybe you're hungry because you're not eating enough. Have you increased your exercise but not increased your food? If you haven't increased the amount of food you're eating, but you've increased your exercise levels, then you need to eat more. If you did a 50K or a 30K run even yesterday, but today you're not running, so, oh, I better eat half of what I'm supposed to eat because I'm not running today, you're going to be hungry because your body's trying to, repair from yesterday. I'm sick, I'm not running, I am still eating exactly the same amount because I can tell my body is working its butt off to get me better. And I want to get better as quick as possible. So I am eating the same amount of food. I am not starving myself because, oh, shoot, I'm not burning calories. I'm burning calories in a different way.
Yeah.
But if you are eating enough and you still have the constant hunger, then add more fiber and protein, especially protein. Protein is satiating. 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight. 1.7 grams of protein per kilograms of body weight. Okay, go for that. That's a sort of moderately high end. It's not as high as bodybuilders would be, but it's high because endurance runners need a lot of protein because what we do breaks muscle down, and also protein fills you up. So not only will it fill you up for longer, it will help your muscles regenerate and not regen, you know what I'm saying, repair. That's the word. See, I've lost like 50 points off my intelligence with this cold. All righty, so number 11.
Brittle nails and hair loss. Your body isn't getting enough nutrients for maintenance.
Now, I remember, listen to a tale, young children, back in the olden days when I was young and racing mountain bikes back in another century, a long, long time ago. There was a big fad going around of high carb, no fat. So that's what we did. We would eat ginormous, and you should have seen those bowls, ginormous bowls of pasta with just a tomato sauce on it from out of a jar, and no meat, protein. Veggies, who's got space for that with that amount of carbs? And definitely no fat, because fat makes you fat, right? Yeah, do you know what also lack of fat does? Is it made all my nails crack. It made my hair go bristle and break. My skin was dry and gross. It was awful. As soon as I added fat back, skin was nice again, nails were good. And my hair, I mean, people have seen how long my hair is. I've got bloody long, good, healthy hair. Right? So your hair and nails will tell you if you're missing nutrients. It might not be fat. It might be something else, right? If you get those big white moons in your nails, that's generally you need zinc. Okay, so and zinc comes from meat. Of course, you can take a supplement, but of course, the best way to get anything is from food. But if you've got brittle nails and you've got hair loss, you know, other than age-related and blah, 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 or chemo or something, obviously, if you listen to this and you're doing chemo, you're probably not running very far. But, you know, if you're having brittle nails and hair loss and brittle hair, there's a reason. It's from your nutrition. It's 100% from your nutrition. So look at it. And it's generally, you're trying to eat low fat. And just like I'm not into these high fat, low carb diets, I'm not into the low carb, high fat. I'm not into any diets.
Said the same thing.
Did I? I'm not into high carb and low fat. Far out, Russ, right? God damn. Just, you know, this is an edit for a podcast, so let's just edit it from your mind, okay?
The editing is done on your side, not our side.
Yeah, that's the only editing done. Ugh, to leave it so. We figure it makes it more personable, this podcast, that it's not perfect.
Yeah. You want perfect. Watch the news.
They perfectly
they
crafted.
Edit that to the bejesus.
Yes, so that says what they want. So increase biotin and protein intake, but as well, you know, but protein has some fats in it, and biotin, yes, that's important too. But I believe it's having some good oils. And butter is a good oil. Everyone bangs on about how good olive oil is for you, and it's great on salads. But as soon as you cook it, you oxidize it and ruin it. Or not oxidize it, you heat, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. You wreck it. So butter actually has a really high smoke point, and it's much better to use butter. We use butter when we're cooking, don't we? When you use the olive oil, I crack it.
Yeah.
You know?
I usually wait until you leave the room before I add the olive oil.
Because it's easier than the butter. Bloody hell. It's not good because, you know, or use coconut oil. I think you can get that to a high temperature. Olive oil, you wreck it when it gets too hot. I've forgotten the word. Like I said, my brain's not working. All right. Number 12.
Number 12, decreased motivation. You've lost your enthusiasm for running.
No, that could be one of two things. It could be overtraining or under fueling, but overtraining is often actually just underfueling. I almost said overfueling. See what I mean? Right, it's generally underfueling, right? A lot of these just come back to underfueling. Fueling, like eating, is not a bad thing. It's good for you. But don't get me wrong, I totally understand. I mean, I was saying to Ron the other day, I feel guilty when I don't run because I'm worried I'm going to get fat. But I know intellectually that that's wrong. So I know, or incorrect. So I don't listen to it, but that's my instinctive feeling, right? So if you've got decreased motivation, ensure adequate carbohydrate, especially, okay? Because carbs gives you energy, and energy gives you motivation. And to be fair, I mean, you know, if you've just come out of a long, cold winter, which we have, your kind of motivation has taken a bit of a dip, and that's fair enough. So, but also just look at your food. Make sure you're eating enough. Like for that 54-kilometer run, we really ate a whole heap of carbs and everything. And it really made such a difference to how we felt during the run.
It did. And, you know, we took adequate rations. We stopped and bought some food as well.
Sausage rolls, pies.
Really?
We weren't nibbling down on a bloody gel Cliff Bar kind of thing. And, you know, I get it because we don't normally eat a big plate of carbs before our runs because we've gotten used to doing these big long runs and you kind of forget.
Yeah.
But actually, I noticed a difference and I felt so much better. And I used to always eat a big bowl of pasta before my long runs, but I've got lazy. So we need to not be lazy, same as everyone else, basically. And also, you know, running, don't treat your long runs as a way of losing weight. Well, if that's what your main goal is to lose weight, then fine. But if your main goal is to train for a race or to get better at running, then you need to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. If your main motivation is to lose weight, then you've pretty much given up on getting better.
At running, yes.
At running, because you can't really do both.
No.
Anyone, you know, that when you run underfueled, you're basically giving up on the run. You know, you're not doing your best that you possibly can on that run because you don't have the energy. Yeah. You might be losing weight, and if that's what you're doing it for, then you're doing it correctly. But if you're actually running to get better, Then you need to fuel properly.
And not only that, but it's horrible. It makes it miserable, which is really unmotivating to go want to do it again, quite frankly. And I hate that feeling of running and being hungry. I hate it with a passion.
Yeah.
You know, even when I get up before work and I'll do a 10K run, you know, I'll be starting running just before 6. So I don't eat then. And it's only 10K. I'm only going for an hour. But I'm hungry and I don't love that feeling.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, I can't wait to get home to my big bowl of porridge.
And we do that sometimes where we'll be out on a run and we'll probably still have, 5 to 10 Ks to go. And we both say, oh, I'm starting to get quite hungry now, but I don't want to eat this shit that I've got in my pack. I want to wait until
I want to have my porridge. But, if it's 10K, I would still keep eating because on the trails, that can be over an hour. But if it's 5K because once we've been in the hills, the last 5K is all downhill pretty much.
That's right. When we're running out
and we just go, I'm waiting. I'm not wasting tummy space on this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff you have on runs is great and all, but it's all manufactured processed food. And I like real food. I don't like packaged food.
Yeah.
Particularly. All right, number 13.
Brings us to lucky last 13. Bonking during long runs.
And no, not with your partner.
That's a different kind of bonking, by the way. Bonking during long runs. You hit the wall earlier than you should.
And to be honest, you are a big one for this. Because Ron, and I sometimes say that to you or to him, are you trying to lose weight? I say to Ron, are you doing this long run to lose weight? And he's like, what? Why? I say, because you're not eating.
I just don't think about eating I need to be reminded to eat.
Because I'm, there beside him, chowing down every, 20 minutes. And he's not eating. And I'm like, why are you not eating? Are you trying to lose weight? And sometimes it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, but I've never run to lose weight.
Yeah.
I've never done that. But, and it's mainly just because I get caught up in what we're doing and where we're going. And I don't.
What we're doing, we're running. That's all we're doing.
Where we're going as well. Being on trails, you kind of need to focus a bit on what you're doing.
Yeah, I've always got that little extra bit of focus for food. So practice fueling during long runs. Set a timer on your watch if you have to. That's what I used to do. I had a timer every 20 to 30 minutes. Certainly in marathons, it was every 20 minutes. Because the faster you go, the more carbs you need. But set a timer to remind you to eat. I got taught that one by adventure racers. Because they get so exhausted they forget to eat, and they have to. If you're running or exercising, their kind of levels for 6 or 7 days. If you don't eat, that's it. You're done. Even for 2 or 3 days. Even for a 54K run. Honestly, after our pie and sausage roll, how much better did we feel? Even though we had been eating, having something solid and proper, not just a nibble of this and a nibble of that and a gel and whatnot. Actual real food. No, I'm not suggesting that you want to do what we did and, because we weren't doing that as training. We were doing that for my birthday. Only now I realised it was training because I have actually entered Marysville 100. You've got to eat during your long runs. And you have to, not just so that you don't bonk during the run, but so that you're ready for the race. When you're racing, you need to eat. And you need to eat 300 to 400 calories an hour. I used to say 200 to 300, but that's like the bare bones minimum. When I first started ultra running, someone told me it. I went to some, some health and fitness thingy, and I was speaking to one of my sponsors, and he was like 300 to 400 calories. And I was like, holy moly, caca-coli. And I've never actually been able to do it, but that is always my goal. And, for the first few hours, I can sometimes do it, but I want to start trying to aim for that again, and I want to be smarter about it because I used to use a lot of, real processed stuff. So I want to kind of balance it out a bit more. There's a lot better food options available now than when I started, essentially.
Yeah.
I can tell I've been talking a lot. But 300 to 400 calories an hour. Don't worry everyone's like the carbs. Oh, but how many carbs? Don't worry about the carbs. If you're eating 300 to 400 calories an hour, you're getting the carbs. Right? David Roche, who set a world record, or American record essentially, at Leadville he was having 500 to 600 calories an hour. That's how he did it. That's what he credits it to, right? And a few other things like training and whatnot.
Fine detail.
Yeah, minor.
Apparently,
And-
just eat your way around.
Yeah, but he was doing these 500 to 600 calories an hour. Now, I'm not saying you do that much because holy moly, that's a lot, but I believe him that would have made such a difference. So you've got to aim for more. You've got to, and the only way you're going to be able to do it in the race is if you practice it in the training. You can't just magically expect your body to do it in the race if you haven't practiced eating anything in training. You wouldn't go and do 100-miler doing absolutely no running at all, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
Right. So you've got to practice nutrition in your training, and nutrition includes dinner the night before, breakfast, all those things you need to practice what you're going to eat.
Yeah.
Because they all affect. And practice carb load. Carb loads are so important. People poo-poo it, no, it's outdated, rubbish. I beg to differ. I've seen amazing differences in the people I, as a sports nutritionist, have given carb loading plans to that is just for them, designed for them. And they've had PBs and they just love running more. They're saying their training runs are just so much more enjoyable. And I do it on myself. And, even just that 1 day carb load before the 54K run, honestly, please, people, if you're having any issues at all, try working on your nutrition. No, of course, I've got the freebie. Lucky I said we weren't going to put it out last time because I wasn't ready. Oh my God, the amount of work involved. First, I had to make the freebie, which, took me some time because I'm no graphic designer, but I tried my best. Then I had to create a landing page. The work, but it's done. It's ready. The link will be in the show notes, also in the social media posts and the story. And if you still can't find it, DM me or email me, Isobel@peakendurancecoaching.com.au, or you can DM me, Isobel Tate, Peak Endurance Coaching, Peak Endurance Podcast,
all the peak endurance,
whatever, on Insta, Facebook. Holy moly, I'm everywhere, like a rash. Unwelcome like a rash, maybe.
Scratch your skin and Isobel will say, yes, what do you want?
Yes. So it's delightful.
Have a read.
And yes, it subscribes you to my email list. If that is so abhorrent to you, unsubscribe as soon as you've downloaded it. It's that simple.
Yeah, but don't.
Don't, because you might find you get some really interesting newsletters from me. Because once again, I work bloody hard on those newsletters. It takes me a long time, and I try to make sure that they're really good, and they're about running, but not just about running and your life.
Yeah.
And I also put out my Infinite Potential ones, which is the mindset stuff. So some of that stuff might be helpful. I'm also starting, ta-da, big news.
Big news. What are we starting?
Potential podcast.
Yes.
In my spare time.
So listen
on the 8th day that I don't work.
So listen out for that.
I'm going to be recording
I was going to say,
we're recording this on Sunday, but I won't put it out until about Wednesday. So the first podcast should be out the same day. So look it up. It's just Infinite Potential. Just like Peak Endurance Coaching is Peak Endurance, Infinite Potential Coaching is Infinite Potential. Look that up. It will be just the intro pod to start with, but it's going to come out weekly. I really hope you have a listen, and I hope it helps you too. Like, I do these things because I want to share all the knowledge
that you've gained.
Yep, that I've worked hard on learning, but that I've also gained through countless experiences.
Yeah. Yep.
So yes, I hope you enjoyed this podcast about nutrition.
Did you find something?
Yeah, I really want it to be helpful. We both do. And if you need, nutrition coaching, I am at your beck and call. I'm a sports nutritionist. Ron's not. He can't do it for you.
I do that every week though. I've been doing it for years.
Tell everyone what you had for lunch today.
Oh, I only had a couple of pies for lunch today.
What does a couple mean?
Well, 3.
Does not mean couple means 2. You had a few pies.
I had a few pies, but I was only going to have 2. And then Isabel decided she wanted a taste of one, and there was no way I was giving up any of my 2 pies, so I had to
2 small
had to-
bites. So you had to have
make another one.
you had
so
to have
you
a
could
whole
some of
extra
that.
pies. 2 small bites, and
Yeah.
you're
So-
funny.
It's a long weekend treat,
It's a footy week, long weekend.
Yeah,
treat.
that's right. We were watching the grand final last night. Isobel was cheering along for the Brisbane Lions.
I almost said the Brisbane Bears. Yeah, right.
And because
I was on my phone. Bloody.
we didn't have any beer or pies last night, so we decided to get some today.
Yes, I was feeling too crook
when I
for beer and pies.
when I say Isobel was cheering along the football, she was on her phone and I was watching the football.
You were getting bored because it was a walkover.
It was. It wasn't the most exciting of games,
No.
particularly because I didn't have any kind of vested interest. Like I don't support either of the teams, but I watched it because it's a spectacle.
Is it?
It is.
Is it though?
Apparently.
Didn't look like it to me when I glanced up. Anyway, I think we need to stop because my voice has had enough. I can't remember. I don't know what we're going to be talking about next week.
No, the usual stuff.
Well,
I'm sure
I want to have proper topics again. I want us to have proper topics, not just chatting.
Yep.
So I will come up with a proper topic. Maybe everyone listening out there, give us some ideas.
Yeah, that's right.
Once again,
what you want us to hear, what you want to hear us
on
talk about.
Spotify, you can comment. On YouTube, you can comment. On socials, you can email me again. I gave the email before, and let us know, what would you like us to talk about? What training stuff or nutrition stuff would you like us to talk about?
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and putting up with my coughing, spluttering,
Thank
and
Yep.
general whateverness.
Now you know what I'm living through at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And can I tell you, I'm a lot better now, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Oh my God. Ron woke up last night and I coughed. I
Coughed right in my face. I woke up and she coughed right in my face.
didn't even. I'm so sorry. I did not. He said he felt his face.
Well, brave spit. And I decided that was a good time to roll over.
I think so. It is so gross. So gross. But, to be fair, when you're asleep and coughing, you're not going to put your hands over your mouth.
No, you're not. No, there's no airs and graces.
No. Oh, I feel so terrible. And on that disgusting note, we shall say goodbye and hope that you haven't deleted us off your preferred podcast platform, but instead keep listening and maybe even writing a review.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like fun.
Yep. All righty. See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.